On the story, we have Philip Turle, our international affairs editor, joining us on set. Philip, good to see you. So talk us through first how these attacks unfolded.
Well, this all kicked off this morning around 5 a.m. local time in Mali. We've had attacks taking place in the north of the country and reported attacks in the centre of the country. These attacks are still going on as we speak, basically around a series of towns, Gao, Anafis, Agalhouk and Savare. These are the main towns where these attacks have been taking place. The town that is really, I think the rebels are focusing on is Anafis, which is where there is a military base where Russian soldiers are based in Mali. There are about 1,000 Russian soldiers based in Mali as part of the Africa Corps, as it's now called. It was formerly the Wagner Group. And that is what the rebels are trying to capture. And maybe to try to dislodge those Russian forces and those Malian forces that are based in those military camps. There are two groups involved in this. The first one is the Group for the Support of Islam and Muslims, the GSIM, which is affiliated to Al-Qaeda, and the other one is the FLA, which is the Azawad Liberation Front, which is a group of separatists. They are the two groups that were responsible for a series of attacks back in April, on the 25th and 26th of April, which were then much more aimed at trying to weaken the ruling junta in the capital, Bamako. This time around, we haven't seen attacks in Bamako so far. It's basically been in the north of the country, the centre of the country, where there has been an attack against a prison, which is close to Bamako, which is called the Kenyaroba prison complex. One of the reasons that this has happened is because the prison is where many jihadists have been put in jail, and contacts with people in that prison have been saying that there has been a lot of fighting going on. Some of the prisoners are so scared about what's happening that they're hiding under their beds, and communication within the prison appears to have been cut off for the time being. So it's a confusing situation, and for the moment, I think we have to wait to see how this is all going to play out.
And has there been any response from the Malian military?
Well, they've been trying to play this down, basically saying that it's something that is under control. There was a statement issued a short while ago saying these attacks have been vigorously repelled and the situation is completely under control. That's according to sources cited by the Agence France-Presse, the French press agency. But that said, these attacks, as I've been saying, are still reported to be carrying on right now. So it's unclear what the reaction is from the government, how they've been managing to push back the rebel forces. But I think that there's no surprise for the government that this is something that was probably on the card and would happen again after these attacks, which we saw back in April. There's nothing new about rebel attacks in Mali. There have been several of those over the past few years. I remember the country's also had two coups d'etat in 2020 and 2021. So it depends how powerful the army is in trying to repel these jihadists, to push them back from these attacks that they've taken. When it happened last time, the jihadists did manage to capture quite a few towns, and I think that is obviously what they're trying to do today.
So several attacks in the past few years, as you just mentioned, but what are the rebels trying to achieve exactly here?
Well, what I think the prime aim is to topple the government. That is one thing, to take back these towns. And they would also like to dislodge the Russian forces. If they can get the Russian forces out, or the Russian forces withdraw without actually fighting, that would certainly change the game as far as the rebels are concerned in trying to capture more land in Mali.